Good afternoon, my movie loving brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we talk about all things movies, movie news, and other screen-related stuff. I am, of course, joined today by my friend, colleague, and co-host, Trevor Farney. Trevor, how you doing today, buddy?
Ooh, we're running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but we're doing okay.
You made it. You're here. Guys, get out. Come on.
Saying hi to the family dogs.
But yeah, we don't have a lot to talk about today. Just three topics. We didn't get to do a show last week, so we never really got to talk about Ahsoka, but you're caught up on that, right, Trevor? No, you're not caught up on Ahsoka either. That's terrible.
Wait. How many episodes are there now?
There's only one left.
I watched the one that we were gonna watch last week. So I think I'm like only one behind.
Okay.
When did that last one, the most recent one, come out?
Just this on Tuesday.
I know, I don't think I've seen that one yet. I've been working every day.
Yeah, so you just seen the one that would be after the Anakin episode.
Yeah. I watched that one.
Yeah, which was a solid episode too.
Solid episode.
We can talk about that episode,
Yes,
but yeah. So again, not a lot to talk about today. We
Right.
do have some of the Writers Guild. I mean, there's like tentative agreements to end the strikes. So hopefully that all goes through, and we will have already. It's crazy that it hasn't even really went through yet, but already you're hearing all this stuff happening already, of movies getting written again and people coming back to work, or even just casting rumors and stuff, things that weren't being able to be told are now kind of being leaked out now, because it seems like we're going to be in a world where we're not striking anymore, thank God. So that's all cool and fun stuff, but I really don't care about talking about that, because that is just just dull stuff to me. It really is. I mean, it's a bunch of dudes that don't even want to come to a table and talk about something. So I really don't want to get into all the strikes and stuff. I just hope that it all works out and that we end up, like I said, with more movies and stuff happening. You know, it looks like Deadpool. A lot of these movies are going to be delayed now because of it. Again, like it's like the pandemic all over again. Like but hopefully it won't be years, but like Deadpool was supposed to come out next year, man. Like, and now they're saying 2025. I don't want to wait that long. I don't want to wait that long for so many different things that,
Dune 2, you kidding me?
right, yeah, Dune 2, the Marvels even. Like the Marvels was supposed to come out this November. I mean, and they're talking about pushing it maybe till next, to like where Deadpool would be next summer. And it's like, geez, I don't want to wait that long. You know, these movies are there. I mean,
Right.
it's just crazy to think, you know, that the strikes cause all these problems, but it makes sense, right? But yeah, so that's not what we want to talk about today. What I want to talk about mainly is what the thumbnail is, the main topic today, which is, is woke and feminist culture kind of ruining movies. And I think that's kind of a no-brainer, but we're going to talk about it. Before we do, though, we got a couple of things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is this new The Boys spinoff series, Gen V, that is on Amazon Prime. This is kind of hit me out of nowhere. Like, I didn't know anything really about this series. Trevor, had you heard anything about it?
No, literally no idea.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I had no anything about this. And then just the other day, like 2 days before it came out, I seen something on YouTube and I was like, wait, what? A Boys spinoff? And then I even watched the trailer and I was like, this is dumb. Like, this is so dumb. Like, first of all, it's so hard, I think, to get you invested in a whole new group of characters that are just derivatives of a bunch of characters you already kind of know. Like, but they did with The Boys. They got us in. But I think that was a challenge. And I had no faith in this Gen V series. And that's why I feel like I hadn't really heard anything about it, too. It's like, oh, yeah, let's keep this on the hush. This didn't turn out too well, but, we made it, so it's happening. There was also that Boys Diabolical animated series. Did you ever catch any of that, Trevor?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man, that's great. Super great. And it's very heavy violence because it's animated, so you could do all that stuff like crazy. Great. But it is The Boys still. Like, it's still the
same character.
Yeah, even the voices are mostly the same. So I felt like that wasn't too hard to get into because I know this world. But coming into this, again, I had no faith whatsoever. And I'm thinking, like, why would I want... It's a lot of times, what I feel with a lot of these things is just, like, I don't really care about... like I said, I feel like it was a stretch to get me to care about Homelander and these characters that are literally just shadows of the characters I actually care about in Marvel and in DC and stuff, right? But they were able to do that, and I just, like I said, I had no faith. But I watched the first episode, and I'm telling you, bro, like, I know you haven't seen any of it, but immediately hooked. Like, immediately I was hooked. And the way that they do it is fantastic. They do it exactly the way they get you hooked into The Boys, right? In The Boys, you have that very opening scene where, what's his name? Stewie or
Huey.
Huey,
Right.
Yes, thank you. Huey is holding his girlfriend's hand, and A-Train comes running down the road, and it literally rips her body apart, and just her arms and hands are left, in his hands. And that was a real... like, way to introduce you to what this world is about.
Right, it was perfect.
Like, what this world is about is realism in that world of superheroism.
Right.
And there's nothing really ever been done like that, ever. And especially brought to, maybe in comics and stuff, there's been similar things, but not brought to this medium. And they do that again. immediately and then just keep doing it. I mean, they released the first 3 episodes as an 8-episode series. I watched all 3 episodes, and I'm telling you now, all I could think was, God damn it, why couldn't they release all 8 at the same time? I'm ready to watch more of this. And in fact, I was mad that they did 3. I'm like, if they're gonna do them week to week, you should have just gave me 1.
Right.
Like I was hooked at 1. You had me at 1. But it really is that good, man. Like, I don't want to go into spoilers and spoil anything because I know everyone hasn't had the chance to check it out, but definitely do go check it out. And I'm telling you, like, it really is good. And all the characters, you know, in the trailer that I thought were like silly, they're not. They're really well put together characters that have a lot of backstory. You know, there's a girl. Did you see the trailer, Trevor? There's a girl who's just like in the trailer, like cuts herself, her wrists and stuff, and uses her blood as to like cut people and stuff. And like, right? I mean, even just that is just like, this is dumb.
Right.
Like, that is so. First of all, this whole thing, like we began on, is like derivatives of other. What derivative?
Right.
What
said,
world? What
derivatives.
character?
We don't believe in your calculus.
Does suicide to power up? But there's a lot of things in there too. There's a girl, a Cassie Lang type of character, that, you know, gets very small like Ant-Man, but in order for her to do that, she has to throw up. And so you see a lot of this, right? It's great, man, because that's the things we don't think about when it comes to superheroism.
Right, you get the
we
glitz
just,
and
yeah,
glamour.
we just like, yeah, man, I could get little, but we don't think about what it took for that dude to get little.
Right.
And you know, it's
Subsequently, what they might do once they are little.
Right. and it's just a weird world to see all of those things. And they do a very, very good job of it. To get into a little bit of the filthy, a little spoiler, that girl eventually shrinks down and jumps onto a cock and starts swinging off of it. So go check out this show. There's nothing better on television right now, I promise you. It's better than Ahsoka. It's better than everything I'm watching right now. Yeah. I'm ready for more. I can't believe this. I just cannot believe that this show is equally as good as The Boys. Like, it is equally as good as the Boys. It's in that world, and I don't even care about The Boys anymore. I'm completely invested in this college of. It's basically Professor X's college of mutants, and they get drafted like sports teams into these different, you know, like the Avengers and the Seven and the Justice League. They all draft from this college.
Wild.
It's amazing. Like, the whole story is great. It really
that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's great. If you guys haven't had a chance to go check out Gen V on Amazon Prime, definitely do. And if you have had a chance, definitely let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. All right. With that down, we're going to go into our second main topic today. And our second main topic today is this. So, we talked about Ahsoka the week before, but like I said, we didn't get to talk about last week's episode, which was the episode after, the whole Anakin world within between worlds thing, which again was one of the best episodes of Star Wars in my opinion. I've still seen a lot of hate since then towards it, but it is what it is. But even my buddy, Mr. P, who watched it, he said, I loved it all the way up until the very end when the whales went through hyperspace. I'm like, what? That's a weird, right? What a weird thing to do. Or say.
You're all down for like the Star Wars universe,
right,
where things can be wild and crazy,
right? But whales going to hyperspace,
right?
You took me out of it, man.
Whales in real life,
took me out
cross
of it.
the entire planet just to get places. If there were like space traveling whales, they'd probably know how to do the hyperspace.
But the episode after the Anakin episode, we get a very non-Ahsoka episode. Like, she's in like 2-3 minutes of it, and we never see her again. But it's for a reason, right? Because there's the introduction of Grand Admiral Thrawn, and then, which is huge, one of the biggest legacy characters in, you know, Star Wars history. So you have to kind of give him this thing, and then the latter half of the episode was kind of used to introduce Ezra back into this mix, you know. So the whole episode kind of had to cater to those things, which left, Ahsoka on the sideline. And for me, it was a very, like, one of those episodes where you don't love it or hate it, but it had to happen. And so, like, you kind of...
Like Avengers 2.
You kind of seen that it was going... I mean, we had to introduce Thrawn, and we had to introduce Ezra, and we had to do it in some way. So, I mean, again, it wasn't good or bad. It just was kind of one of those stepping stone episodes. Everything was still done well. I thought, the guy playing Grand Admiral Thrawn, who also voices him, I thought was great. Lars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was
Lars
great.
Mikkelsen, I believe. And then... the kid playing Ezra, which I believe also voiced Ezra, if I am reading things correctly out there. He seems great too. Like, everyone seems very fitting. And then this last episode, it was good too. We have a lot kind of this Trevor has done exactly what I feared, and what a lot of, like, we even talked about, as great as WandaVision did or was. It still did this thing where we were scratching our heads episode 8 for a whole week. We were like, how the hell are they going to make all this work out?
Right.
Like, there's like 8 storylines that need to come to an end, and you have 1 episode left. Right. And that's kind of what happened here, man. There's a lot going on. It's like, wait, how there's like 5 different things that need to all happen in the context of an hour-long episode coming up. And again, not saying it can't be done, because WandaVision did do it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the best. It wasn't
the prettiest landing of all time.
But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And so I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm just saying I'm a little fearful. I feel like
they have not a very good track record. As far as, like, WandaVision, they did it, but Moon Knight, they didn't.
No.
Hawkeye, I don't know if they ever even got close enough.
Yeah,
to
they
where
didn't
you
get
can count
started.
Hawkeye. Yeah, right. Obi-Wan, they certainly didn't. They got like a bunch of interesting kind of ideas set up, and then just fumbled the bag.
Yep. And I think so. So if you don't know, I mean, I think they mention it. Balin mentions it in his episode, or in the episode you last seen. But he mentions that there's something else out here, kind of, that he hears calling to him. He mentions in the episode you've seen. And in this newest episode, he actually parts ways with Shin, his Padawan, and tells her, like, look, I'm on a different path. There's something else out here that's calling to me, and I got to go. And so that's a thing. We have to figure that out, whatever's going on with there. There's also Thrawn loading up a ship with a bunch of, like, casket-looking things with the witches, and... there's got to be something going on there. Like, what's his plan? Where's he going next? And then there's them getting off of this place because the wells are gone and Thrawn's about to leave. So they got to figure out a way to escape this whole situation. And, I mean, the list just goes on and on. What about Shin? Where's she at in this situation? How come when Maruk was killed, he turned into green gassy smoke from the Lost? I don't know. I want to know these things, man. I want to know these things. But again, I'm still going to give it the benefit of the doubt because it has overall been good. It has overall been good. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But Trevor, I'm going to ask you, in your opinion, I know you haven't seen the newest episode, but knowing what I've told you, that there seems like a lot to accomplish here. Do you think they're going to pull it off?
Well, I think it kind of rests on a couple of things. One, if they're planning to do a sequel, like if this is planning to be like just a mini series, or if it's planning to be like a longer series.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
Because
there's definitely going to be an Ahsoka season 2.
Okay, well, see, now that because a lot of those other ones, like WandaVision, like the pressure was on because you knew this is kind of it, and Moon Knight, another one of those. But this one, I feel like a really good series would be like. Hey, I'm on my own trip now, and like that's setting up for a bunch of stuff that's gonna fall down in like season 3 or something. Right. Like so if that's what's going on, boss. And so far from what I've experienced, if that's where they're going, I'm down, bro. Like everything they presented us, like including Grand Admiral Han, like Thrawn.
Jeez, you racist bastard. Everyone's
sorry.
just Asian to you.
I know, even the blue people.
That's why he hates Avatar.
That's right. Because it reminds me of Hans.
You know, WandaVision was so bad, man, with it, that by the end of it, we were all like, are they doing a season 2, bro?
Right.
like it really was. It was so bad towards the end of so much to do in one episode that it had us questioning, like, well, maybe it's not going to wrap up in this.
Yeah,
and that makes sense.
Maybe they're tricking us,
You know, they wrap up 2 things, but 3 things are left as a cliffhanger for season 2. Like,
exactly.
That makes, you bring up a great point, and I listen, with WandaVision, there was a doubt in all of our mind that they wouldn't do a season 2. But with this, there's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a season 2 of Ahsoka. Right. Especially with how well it's been received so far. I mean, it's where like the Book of Boba Fett.
No. Oh, you know, I always forget that show exists.
Right, you want to. Your brain's just like, nah, kick it out. It's like, you know,
you don't need that info.
Touched by a youth pastor when you were a kid. You're just like, boom, that shit's gone.
It'll just come back out when I'm like, you know, at a Boba Fett store. I'll be like,
Right. And that's why I don't go to church anymore. But anyways, but yeah, man. So that is a great point, and I think there is some of that going on, and I think more of that will probably be the Thrawn thing. You know, maybe we don't get to quite see what he's got going on or planned, which would make sense because there's even rumors of them doing a Thrawn show. So I could see that. I could see them even doing this kind of like Avengers type of situation where Ezra and all of this group has to get with Mando and Boba Fett and all of them to take Thrawn down in Avengers Endgame type scenario. I could see that happening. I really could. But
well, I mean, you could go find Rey. Probably this is after the Empire fell, right? Right. So I mean, you could. That could. I mean,
right.
You could
definitely
like
Luke.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Luke's there, so I mean, I could see them going for something like that because that's what's popular right now, and it would be cool if done right. Yeah, as always.
Right,
I mean, look, Endgame was cool, man. So it can be done. And it just has to be done right and done well. But yeah, let's see. With that down, let's move on. Guys, let us know what your thoughts are so far on the Ahsoka series. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, with that down, let's move on to our last main topic today. And our last main topic today is this. I just labeled it, Movies Dead.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So what this really is about, like this main topic really, if you've seen the graphic, I'm not trying to be a knucklehead. I'm just being what I am, which may be a knucklehead. And the thing is these Rachel Zegler comments about the Snow White movie. I'm sure you guys have all seen these. Like, it's constantly. It's like every week she says something new and dumb. And I just can't stand it. And I started thinking about it because, we've been having lots of talks about, the changing environment of the world and the way the world views this woke culture and stuff. And clearly it's not, it's an awakening among people, right? Because we're not the only ones looking at Rachel Zegler and going, what a dumb bitch. We're not. So I think we have to, first of all, rid our movies of these things, especially our original things. Like, this is a movie based on something. Like, we cannot change every single thing to adjust to this woke culture that we live in. We just can't keep doing it. And again, we're seeing that people are majoritarily agreeing with that, especially when you think that people like me grew up with Snow White, who now have a daughter, and I want to take her. I imagine all kinds of fathers and mothers would like to take their kid to see a movie that they grew up with. Now, can you imagine doing that and completely everything was different? What is my relation to taking my daughter to see the Snow White that I seen when it's completely a different movie? They can't even say dwarves. The movie I seen was called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So it's so far from even being the same thing. And the whole point of bringing it back would be to get a guy like me to go, come on, baby girl, I want to take you to the movie and show you what I grew up on. Like, that would be the whole point of redoing it. I mean, not to make it woke and feminized, and right? I mean, listen, all I want to say is this. She's a young girl, and she's got a lot to learn, but she just seems very ungrateful. I mean, to put on that stupid blue and yellow dress is an honor. I mean, listen, I'm not even a chick, and I'd do it and be honored as shit. I'd skip around as Snow White if given the chance, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Trevor, you know who else has played Snow White?
No one.
Never, no one. It's just you, lady.
That one chick in the
like the Huntsmans or whatever.
Yeah, but there's also that TV show where they go into like real life fairy tales.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a cool show.
Yeah. But yeah,
at least the first several.
But I mean, especially
Once Upon a Time.
Yes, that's it. Great show. But I especially mean in the movie theater world.
Yeah.
Who's Snow White, man?
By a Disney movie.
It's just you, lady. So man, look again. I get that you're young, but you just sound stupid. A lot of times, it's best to be quiet and just be humble and just be
man or woman.
Just be, no matter who you are. That's correct.
Right.
To just be grateful for whatever opportunity that has been given to you.
Right.
Because you know that not almost everyone else around you has gotten or will get that said opportunity.
And homeless.
So it just hurts me to hear. First of all, she's young. She's also very beautiful. She's also very talented. I mean, she was in the Spielberg movie.
West Side Story.
Yes, I mean, so we've seen she's a talented girl. She's a beautiful girl. She's a young girl. She's got so much going for her, but be humble, lady. Be humble. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful that you're Snow White. Again, I want to take my daughter to that movie so she can enjoy and I can have this kind of connection with her about with what I grew up on. Like, it makes no other sense to do it any other way. Right. And if you do it another way, then it makes no sense for me to take her because I can't have that connection. So what would I do? I'll sit on the couch, I'll turn on Disney Plus, and I'll put on 1937 Snow White, and I'll watch it here at home with her, Rachel Zegler, and I won't go see your goddamn movie. And me and like half of the other fucking millennials that are now parents feel about the same way.
And don't worry, you won't have to wear any more stupid dresses anymore.
Right? Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's so ignorant to me too. So how does that not apply, Trevor? How does she said about the man chasing her, right? She's like, weird. Like, how? She's like, oh, it's not 1937 anymore. So it applies to that. So 1970, but not that fucking old ass dress. How come y'all didn't change that? It's not 1937 anymore.
Right.
Make her fucking have a crop top and fucking wears the thong just out in public.
Right.
That's 2023.
Audience, right?
Like, I don't fucking, so you just gotta
working with their D-Wars, you know?
You just gotta think before you speak sometimes, people. Like, and you, especially when you're a young person in this world, because like that movie, I promise you guys mark this fucking video down in your goddamn calendars, that movie will fail like no Disney movie has ever failed in the past. Because of all of these things. People hate her. People hate this movie. They do not want the thing. Again, the whole idea is to refresh the thing I love, not change it completely. And when you do that, you ruin it for everyone. And that's what's happening. We don't need to teach young women that they don't need men, and that a man that's trying to court them as a stalker, and that's weird. That's so crazy. Like, that's so crazy to me. And we need to be taught that we need each other. men need women as much as women need men. We universally need each other, and we should be taught that. Right. And in a way, I feel like the original Snow White did teach that in a way. But the last thing it taught, look, I was a child when I seen it, and the last thing I came away from it was thinking like, fuck women. I don't need them. Right. They're weak. Right. No. What a pointless creation. No, I came away from it feeling like every other dude. Man, I got to get me a beautiful woman. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that? That's completely okay. And I think that women came away with it going, I got to get me a Prince Charming. And I think those are all okay things. And these are the things that we've been taught literally since the beginning of Disney. Like that's what it's predicated upon, is love and family. Like literally that's what Disney has always kind of stood for, with an underlying tone of absolute racism. But, we won't talk about that. Trevor, Rachel Zegler, you're hearing these comments. Look, I don't want to come down on her too hard, but I it is what it is. How do you feel about this, man?
I mean, I just, in general, with something like that, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said she's just a young woman, a young person who doesn't really understand her position in life, which is understandable. I mean, you get everything you ever wanted, all your dreams come true, kind of, and you feel on top of the world, and you kind of get to this point, especially when you're that young, that you feel like you know everything. And, I think, and I mean, there's clearly, I think, this Disney regime that's here right now does seem to be really pushing hard on the whole, because I'm all down for like, for women being able to have like the same amount of rights as men, but like there's a step past that we've kind of entered into that I do have a problem with, which is like perfectly encapsulated in the Snow White situation, because it's like the whole idea of Snow White is like, you have this like nice girl who's like, good and just enjoys being a woman, which is, there's nothing wrong with enjoying being a woman, just like there's nothing wrong with enjoying being Ronda Rousey and beating people up, like that's cool, but this woman particularly, and this character came into the lives of these kind of like messy dudes who needed someone to come in there and be like, hey, you are acting like absolute animals. Stop acting like animals, which is kind of the essence of the classic male and woman relationship.
That's right.
Which, there's, and again, we cannot get so far into making sure that like the few people that are a little different, that want to do it a little different, want to like have a relationship that's a little different than the norm. We can't let just them existing, like, or in the letting of them exist, like, we can't sacrifice all of the others and like treat regular people like they're fucking, like they're evil or weird or whatever, which is kind of what this is doing. It's like, well, girl, like if you're an actress, right, and you're playing like a traditional type of female, which is cool, so play it with grace and play it with style. But you're acting like a spoiled brat, and I think she's propped up in a lot of ways by the
studio, by the producers, by other writers, all of that stuff, because the whole movie was kind of designed around that. So she was led to believe like, hey, this is what it's about, Right. But it's little like did she know that a lot of the world is like, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we want it to be about. And a lot of these movies have been doing this. Like you said, Disney's kind of, in the last like 5 years.
Their marketing campaign is to like be dicks to like formerly great things. And you're like, I mean, and to me, I'm like, okay, so you have a couple of options of a reason of making a movie. And the one that I would always go with is because you have something you love and you have a script that would do it a service, which is what's going to make money. Like let's take Star Wars, for example. Star Wars has powerful, like deep classic principles in it, and it's also shiny and cool and new. And you put them together, boom, you have like one of the biggest successes of all time, because that's what people want. And it's made out of love, and it's made out of trying to help people, that's what we really actually want to experience is art. That's what draws us. So if you're not making it like that, which to me is pretty clear that you're not, you haven't found a story that you love and a story that makes you happy and makes you like excited to work. What you've done is found something you hate, and in spite, you're making this film. And that's just, you can't make anything good out of spite.
Right.
It runs out of like flavor real quick. I mean, it's like that episode in Curb Your Enthusiasm where he makes the whole spite story. He like wastes tons of money, burns it down, the whole thing just out of spite. And it's ridiculous. Like don't make art out of spite. And that to me is why they're making it. And I'm like, so a few of you have spite against this. Whereas, like, the rest of the world has fond memories of this, like, very beautiful classic. And if you're not going to respect the damn thing, don't go. I mean, the last thing you should ever do, if you feel like that kind of ideal should be left in the past, then leave it in the past. Don't go and take something that is ingrained in people's hearts and stab the shit out of it.
Right.
That's
Can you imagine
crazy.
if when they redid the live-action Lion King, they were like, well, instead of Simba, it's going to be a girl lion.
Right.
It's like, wait, what? like I get it. I'm all for girls having their moment too, but like that's not even how lions work, bro.
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense. Like, no, they would eat that lion. They'd be like, you're weird.
Right.
Like
literally.
It just makes zero sense to change something that literally, like, the story was predicated upon those things.
Right.
It was 1937. That's, the epitome of traditionalism was still happening in that time. Right. So, and you bring up a good point too, that you have this group of men that are kind of just all over the place and not put together, and what all they need is this beautiful, good woman to come in and kind of, there's so much to this story, man. There's that I believe is culturally appropriate the way it has been. Like, it doesn't need to be changed.
Just make new stories, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
now, here's the thing. If you want to do that, do it, and then just call it like fucking Isabella Beth or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just not Snow White. Right. Again, let's go again. Something we haven't talked about yet, but the literal core of the name of the character is based off of her skin being so fucking pale that it's snow fucking white.
That's her name.
There's very few characters I would argue with. I said nothing when the Little Mermaid shit happened. Right. But her name isn't predicated on her skin color, man.
Right.
That's crazy. That'd be like if we had a white Black Panther.
Right.
What world would accept that? Yeah, there would be riots
nuts
in the streets if there was a white Black Panther, man.
Right.
It just doesn't make goddamn sense. Like, I don't understand where we are as a world, but we got to fix this stuff, and we got to teach our youth better. Because, again, this girl is a young, beautiful, talented young lady, and, she has a future. I don't want to say she's ruined her future or anything, but she has a bright future ahead of her that she's dimming down right now by just, giving. And again, a lot of it, like you said, comes from the producers, comes from the people making the movie, the establishment that are telling her, like, yay, push this, push that you're proud. Yeah, that's right.
This is what's in right now.
Right. And with really Barbie's success right now too, I think it's even more being pushed to be this, but
which again, I think they missed the whole point of like what most people that really liked Barbie did not like it for it being like a really jarring feminist film. It was like a cool movie about like chicks having to deal with shit. That's not why. God, the studios always take the wrong message from the money that comes in, and it's like the best example of that is like when Batman or when Dawn of Superman came out, or no, what the fuck is that called? Man of Steel. Man of Steel came out. It didn't perform as well as they want, and like they only listened to like the first two comments that were like, it's kind of dark, and instead of like fixing the problem that they like a couple of the story problems they had and really righting the ship, instead of that they just completely flipped the entire script.
See, Man of Steel is a whole different kind of problem, right? That they do a lot of times too. That thank God Marvel has learned this lesson. But listen, we don't need to see Uncle Ben die 84 times.
Right.
We know how he becomes Spider-Man. We got that part down. And that's a big reason why Man of Steel failed as well. Because you told us a story that, you know, again, Snow White really hasn't been told since 1937. Right. But Superman has been told in so many different mediums, so many different times, and we all know the story. He was on the planet, it blew up, he landed in Kansas, grew up there, became Superman. Like, we do not need to see that story again, especially in a, like, you think James Gunn's going to do that?
Nope.
No. We're going to pick up, just a perfect example is look at the Batman.
Right.
We don't need to see the pearls hit the fucking concrete and roll down the, you know, we don't need to see all that. I'm scared. We know how many Waynes have to die. Right. We know how it happens. Just give us Batman. And look, they did. He's already Batman, and we all just were like, yep.
That's good with me.
We don't need to see this shit. And so that's not a different kind of thing. Like, I think a lot of movies fail because they fail to see that we've seen a lot of this story, and we just want to see that character now do something different. Like you know, and again, Marvel learned it early on, even with the Hulk, same thing. Like they said the 03 Hulk, they're just like, yeah, people get it. Right. Like, they've probably seen that one.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, right? That's the origin-ish. Right. And it's like so different from the comics, you know? Like, it really is. Like, they actually like were giving him shots as a baby and shit. Like, it's like that's not even close to what happens in the comic, but still they rolled with it. They're like, yeah, that's what happened here though.
Close enough.
Because again, people don't want to keep seeing these stories be told over and over again.
Right, not the same
but again, I argue that Snow White is a little bit different because, you know, this besides that Huntsman those movies were fucking, if you've seen those movies, smoke yourself. I don't know what the hell you're doing in your life. But I mean, I seen them, so.
Right. I think I saw.
I tried at least.
I see
like 1.5-ish or something.
Right. Like I
think like Hemsworth was in them or something. And so that was enough that I was like.
And the chick from the Twilight series, Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart. Yeah. Yep. And so it had some good people, and I was like, I'll give this a shot. Right. Oh my God, those are terrible.
But Charlize Theron's in the second one.
Yes, that's right. And outside of those movies, I haven't seen any Snow White anything. All I can think of is that original VHS that I would pop open and put in my VCR when I was a kid. So, it's a different kind of story. This story could be retold exactly how it was for a new generation. Right. It's literally almost been a century.
Right.
We're coming up on a century, so just retell the story live action.
Or just do a new story.
Like, yeah, or just do your own fucking story. You know, Snow White
want to make a movie about a strong badass lady, cool. You know, we'll go watch a movie about a strong badass lady.
Snow White's public domain, motherfucker. Right. Do whatever you want. She could be like a axe murdering LSD dealer. It doesn't matter what the fuck. Like, it's just like the dude Gordon that had a kind of feminine guy that had his own talk show, and he made a Cinderella movie.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
James Corden?
Yeah. And he made a Cinderella movie. Did you see it, hear about it? Huh? No. This just came out like 2 or 3 years ago. You've never heard about it or seen it. It's on Amazon Prime. But it's his, because it's public domain. And he just went out and made one, and nobody could stop him.
Okay.
But nobody really cared either because Disney didn't make it. So
it's not Disney.
Yeah, exactly. But point is if you want to make your own, if you want to make her black or make her however, do that if you want to. But again, just call it something different. Like make it different. Make the whole thing different and be like, well, it's not that, but it's kind of based on it. Like we can maybe digest that. Even then now, though, we just want, again, as a parent, I just want to be able to take my kid to enjoy the same similar things closely that we can relate to the same things that I seen when I was a kid. But if you make it too much different, you just can't. I mean, The Lion King is the perfect example of that. It's basically the same ass movie with live action and modern voice. actors that we know today.
It's not my favorite movie ever, but I had no problem with it.
Right?
I semi-enjoyed it.
And that motherfucker made like $2.5 billion, man.
Right. Because they just... If you're going to remake these classic movies
if they made Simba
action,
a girl, I promise you it wouldn't have made $1. Like,
it's just... I mean, at this point, it feels like they sense that there's this large group of, like, dudes, and not just dudes, but, like, people that, like, are kind of annoyed with the whole third wave feminism thing, and they're like, fuck you, bro. Like, and that's like what every movie they're making is, and I'm just like, bro, stop. Stop making movies just to spite us, bro. Like, instead of that, make cool movies that represent your ideology well. Like, and make a movie about a strong, badass lady who's like doing her own thing and fucking going out there and chilling.
You know, that's why horror movies fucking existed for so long, was because that was name a horror movie that doesn't have a badass chick that kills the villain and makes it out alive. All of them.
Right.
Every one of them.
She's the one. The underestimated one that no one else expected could make it through. And that's what's... We love
and we're
those
lacking
movies.
that. Yes, we lack that though now. You know,
that's the crazy thing. That's like that these people that are making these types of movies don't understand. It's like there are some really genuinely sexist dipshits out there and racist dipshits out there. Absolutely, but most people, they don't want to be condescended to. Most people, if you give them even like bumpkiny type dudes, if you gave them Ripley and showed them that movie, they're gonna be like, yeah, Ripley's badass. I love Ripley. Right. Or her namesake is this professional wrestler named Rhea Ripley, who's this badass big lady who just messes people up and she's sexy at the same time. She's one of the most popular wrestlers in the entire company because we love badass chicks that aren't being condescending jerks. Like, don't in being badass be like, and that means that I'm so much better than you. I'm like, why? Don't talk down to me.
And I really think we'll see a shift change with this because I think that this movie's going to bomb hard. Like, really, really drastically hard.
I mean, Little Mermaid bombed, didn't it?
I mean, yes. Yeah, I mean, but I think it might have at least made its money back, which, you know... But it's still, this one's going to be bad. Yeah, this one's going to, lose the studio hundreds of millions of dollars, man.
Little Mermaid was at least, like, still pretty inoffensive. It was a little bit weird that they, like, made her black but still gave her the red hair. I was like, it's a little strange, but I'm not, like, I don't really, like, the race, I don't care, whatever, because it doesn't matter to the races. But this thing... Right. I mean, they are actively
the biggest problem with Little Mermaid, and this is a perfect example of the world, this woke feminist culture that we live in, is that, so the dad, have you ever seen Little Mermaid? The original one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So the dad hates humans.
Yeah.
Right? So what makes him, in the original one, come around and start liking humans?
Eric.
Why?
Because he's like a badass and he saves his daughter. Yeah.
They take that out of this one.
Yeah.
So in this one, she saves him.
It's like, oh, yeah, he is handsome being saved.
and somehow that makes the dad go, yeah, this is cool. Like, it contradicts the whole story. The whole point is the dad hated humans until that man saved his goddamn daughter. Man.
It's like, whoa, there are actually people that will give up their lives for other people, and that's amazing.
Right, yeah, and you can't take that away. It's an integral part of that storytelling, of that particular story.
Right.
Like, it really is. I mean, you just can't keep doing this, Disney. And I think this one, like I said, I think this one will really change. I mean, the backlash that Zegler is getting on online right now is just fucking crazy, man. I mean, and it's like every week she says something new. And now so this newest week, she backtracked it. So she's like, oh, I grew up on those movies and I love those movies so much. And And then people like cut that. And then right after that ends, it'll play her like being like, yeah, I hated that movie when I was a kid. It was weird. It made me feel weird and very scared. And it's like
weird and very scared.
Yeah, and that's what she said before, and now she's saying all these things now. And it's like, no, bitch, we know how you really feel.
Right. Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, I have no idea. Like, She could just have been saying that bullshit because she's trying to rile up, and now she could be like, backtracking.
We're talking about Snow White. All right, let's wrap up. Let's get to some of these chat stuff here. Guys, let us know what you think about this fucking crazy shit going on with Rachel Zegler and all this shit down in the comment section below. All right, moving on. All right, let's see here. Someone said snooze fest. I responded with, "Then why are you here, bum?" And I stand by that. Get the fuck out of here then. Right, go snooze on your own time, you fucking fat, lazy son of a bitch.
Right.
All right,
we don't want you
let's
here,
see.
We never will.
My good friend Mero is here. He says, "Is this live?" Yes, it is. So I can say anything and it'll show up. Yes, that is true. He says that Keith Toothman, eat Snickers with forks and knives, which is also very true. It's the best way to eat them.
It's the only way.
Yeah, that's right. The only way to eat them. Shanna's here. Shanna, what the hell are you doing? Let's see here. Keith thought Punch Drunk Love was a masterpiece.
I like that movie a lot.
You know what? In its own way.
It's a really good movie. Masterpiece? It's PTA.
Mero also says, Key wears an "I voted" sticker that he found on the ground.
I can confirm that. That is true.
Okay, all right, here's a good one. We'll take this one as an actual topic here. Hot take, Mero says. Goku murders Superman easy. All right, I'm going to give you my quick take on this. My quick take is no. My overall thought is if both people took the fight serious from the very beginning, then I think Goku could win. But Goku never takes any fight serious. Name one fight Goku was in that he took serious from the beginning.
Right.
Like, he doesn't take it serious until he's, literally about to die or, half his friends have. Right. And then he's like, all right, now I'm going to reach a new level of crazy.
Gremlin and Yamcha can go.
And where
Soups, his son's in danger.
Soups takes threats to Earth very serious. So, if Goku just showed up on Earth and
started swinging.
Swinging his shit at people, I'm telling you, Soups would go eliminate that target immediately. Way before Goku, who could win, way before he would man up and be like, all right, I got to take this thing serious. Because Goku's such a kid at heart, man. That's why we all love him. But the truth is, if
Superman's a really
that's
good
the other
man.
thing about Superman. You know how they got those things in Dragon Ball Z where you could read people's power levels? Superman basically has that in his brain. Right. And the moment he lands, Superman's gonna go, oh my God, I gotta kill this thing right now.
Right. I can't let it get any more.
If I let this thing even get a second, it's gonna fucking kill everything here it can. So Soup's just gonna take it too serious too quick. So hot take, Soups wins. Trevor?
I have to. I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head, because I think what you have here is two very good human beings, or not human beings, but creatures of human form, and both of them. In real life, I don't think that there's ever a circumstance where they fight. So but if they did, and for some reason they did take it seriously.
Mero said, nope, you're wrong, and I don't respect your opinion.
That's not very nice, Mero. We respected your opinion, your wrong opinion, but it's all right.
He says, Jiren, Jiren. Is that from Super? He says he took Jiren serious right away. Maybe, your credibility is tainted now. I don't know, man.
What circumstance would Superman ever be in where where Goku would have to take him serious like that?
Or vice versa.
Right.
Goku would never, ever really try to hurt Superman.
Right, and he wouldn't come on threatening.
In fact, I always say, the truth is if those two ever got into it, they'd end up being best friends ever.
Right. Dude, now I want to see the crossover, and I want to see him, skipping through, frolicking
right,
through,
it's like a buddy cop movie.
Right, right.
Soups and Goku.
Oh, my God, where they, one-up each other and, ridiculous.
All right, Rich Romero also says that my guest is way hotter than me. Is it temperature? Do you need a fan?
I am very hot.
Yeah, it is warm in the studio today.
I think I'm probably going to die.
It's going to be 95 today, so yeah, I believe that.
We appreciate you noticing.
And he also says, Forrest Gump, ... Jenny dies. All I want to say,
spoilers, bro.
all I want to say is, hot take: Forrest Gump is trash. God awful, true American trash.
Don't say that.
That's all it is.
Here. Every
Vote
time
big.
I go,
Always vote big. Always vote big.
Okay,
if
big
you
is
need
great.
Tom Hanks, go big.
Big
Go,
is great.
As they say, go big
Or go home.
or go the fuck home.
Right. It doesn't say go big or go Gump.
Yeah, right.
That's for sure.
Let's see.
Forrest Gump always gets me, bro. Like I always think at the beginning of it when I start watching, I'm like, why am I watching this stupid movie? This is about to be a piece of shit. And then it about 30 minutes in, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sad. Immediately.
Let's see. Miro says 10 out of 10 would smash. Is that like you're saying 10 out of 10 people would smash you or something? I don't
Whole
get it.
smash?
I'm confused. But I don't think that Goku wins 10 out of 10, man. I just don't think it happens. But Shane's here.
7 out of
What's up, Shane? Shane says,
What up, Shanathan?
I just bought Godfather on Xbox 360. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. What?
So much of that made no sense.
I'm gonna stop you there, Shane. First of all, why? Why? What? Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? Get rid of that 360, man. Let's see. You still hate that movie? Okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Like, I think it's a solid film.
Movies.
I don't hate long movies.
I'm saying it's hard for you to do long movies.
That's true. And the majority of them I hate, unless the story is demanding of it. Like Endgame. Like, as a perfect example, I recently, 2 weeks ago, I sat down and watched Endgame, and it felt like 2 hours, man. Yeah. Like, it was just so fitting. Everything was, some stories need time to breathe. And when they are, I'm okay with it. Godfather 1 and 2 are both a little too long for me. But I don't hate the movie. I just don't. It's very held up high. And everything I heard about it was like, it's the greatest thing. And it's definitely not that, at least. So I don't hate it. But I tell you this, I've never played the Godfather video game, but I hate that. I hate that whatever. You know what? That's not true. I have played it. Years ago, actually, when it first came out, my brother got it. We rented it from fucking movie gallery or Hollywood Video, and I remember it only because there was a scene where we you had to cut a horse's head off to put it in a bed or something like that, and that was cool to us. We were cutting a horse's head off in a game, and we're like, oh my god,
this is
so
dope.
I do at least remember some things about it.
I mean, that could be a cool ass game. It could be going through and I mean, you could get the whole Corleone story in there, go through all their bloody missions and whatnot.
But yeah, Mero goes on to say, how do I report for hate speech? Just pick up your phone and dial 911, my friend.
That's right.
I can't. There's nothing else that I can. It sounds like an emergency, dude. So.
Right, 911.
Shanna says, old is always better. Always. So would you rather have a sandwich that's 10 years old or one that I made right now?
At this moment.
Right? Because not always is
I'm also not going to lie. I've seen some new movies. How about the old Dune versus the new Dune? That's almost a no question.
Mero says Forrest Gump was a national treasure.
Oh, God.
No.
I mean, he was around a lot of national treasures.
Tom Hanks might be a national treasure to some people. I could maybe. No.
He's a national something.
He's like America's dad.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like America's sweet uncle. Not the cool uncle, but the sweet uncle.
Shay says The Godfather could probably be longer, in my opinion.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of more with him.
Okay.
Bro.
All right. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Make it a series.
Come on.
A mini series, 8 episodes on HBO or something. I would probably love that thing. But man,
you gotta give him a good pause point.
Yeah, right. And it's weird how me and Shane was just recently talking about this. How weird how my brain is immediately like I'll watch an hour and a half episode or something, it ends, and there's like a 2-minute period where the next thing is about to start, and that's all. That's it. That's all it takes for me to be like, yep, I'm ready to go for another hour and a half. And then another 2-minute break, one more time.
Right. But then you'll be like The Godfather,
right.
3 hours.
But a movie, 3 hours, it's
even
like what?
2.5. You're
I don't got time for this.
Like Blade Runner 2049, 245.
How does my brain work like that? I'm fucked. They have
you're
fucked
just
me,
an idiot.
man. I'm definitely an idiot. There's no denying that for sure. But it's weird that I'm clearly not the only one that has that. We all are kind of programmed in a way.
Like that.
So just that couple of minutes of
how much more popular is the Hateful Eight 4-part show?
Right. Yeah. There you go. Right. Or even they talked about breaking the Zack Snyder Justice League up into a 4 or 5-part series.
Right.
Another
they
perfect.
should have done that.
Yeah.
They
exactly.
definitely should have.
For sure.
I mean, they pretty much did. In the movie, there's like part 1, part 2,
basically,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Shane says the horse is headed straight for the movie. Yes, I know. Non-perishable stuff. Yeah, non-perishable stuff is probably not better later. And Shanna says an aged sandwich.
Moldy goof, yeah.
Right. What is that, Gouda on there? Aged Gouda?
I feel the hair growing.
Shane says Lynch always wins. That's true. You talked about comparing Dunes. Lynch always wins.
Not with Dune, sorry. Lynch is great. Lynch is like one of my favorite of all time, but he fumbled the ball on that one. That's
Mero says he had a Medal of Honor. Who had a Medal of Honor?
David Lynch, obviously.
But the series wouldn't be directed by Francis Ford Coppola, so no. Yeah, true.
That's true.
Yeah, but back then, though, like if they could have made it a series instead, and when I came back to it today, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more.
Hang on though? Didn't they do like
there was some sort of
series
limited
thing
series
where they put it all together?
Yeah, I'm sure that I almost completely remember that.
Right, because that's. I mean, I would love that, and then sprinkled in. I'd even want the third one sprinkled in.
Mero asked a great question. Have you guys seen Band of Brothers? Love that series. Okay, recently, dude. No, I haven't, but I've heard great things. And recently, I seen it on Netflix. Man, it's like in the top 10. In fact, there's another one. Right, there's that one. Did Spielberg do that one? Because there's one that Spielberg did too, like a 8-series war one, and
maybe that is Spielberg.
Yeah, and I see there's 2 different ones right now that I remember being big in the early 2000s. I want to check it out, but I haven't seen Band of Brothers, man. I need to check it out.
The first episode in college. They like showed it to me.
Though, war movies and war stuff is just not for me, man. Like I can't stand.
It has to be like one of the great war movies to get me in, because like just war on its own.
Even then, like I was telling Shay, like I tried to start Apocalypse Now like a couple weeks ago, and like 15 minutes in, I was like, nah.
See, like now I can do Apocalypse
I'm not doing this,
but I can barely do Jarhead. Like Jarhead's like a really good movie.
I haven't seen Jarhead in forever, man.
It's a cool movie, bro.
I'll tell you another great one. That one with Renner.
That's a
based on a true story. Where you know what I'm talking
Hurt
about.
Locker.
Hurt Locker. That was a good one.
Movie.
That was a great one too.
Another great movie.
Wasn't that directed by a female?
Yeah, it was Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which is also a huge accomplishment for a movie like that to be directed by a female, because that movie really is like, especially at the time, that got talked about. Like,
it was. It got nominated for.
He did. Things. I mean, really, Renner was kind of not Renner until he got that kind of publicity.
Because he was just kind of like Hawkeye, and then like he did that one, and
he said Forrest Gump won the Medal of Honor.
Oh yeah, he did. Bubba Gump shrimp.
Shanna says, just rewatched Band of Brothers myself recently. Really? Did you? How was it going back and watching it? And did you watch it on Netflix while it was out, Shanna? Generation Kill is awesome. Also, I've never heard of Generation
Kill.
Shanna says for like the 5th time, really. So it must be pretty good then. Band of Brothers is Spielberg and Hanks. They also did Pacific, but B.O.B. Oh, but Band of Brothers is better than Pacific. Yeah, so it is Spielberg. But there's another one on there, a series that's another kind of big director. I got to go look and we'll see what that is. But Shannon says she loves it more and more each time. Mero says Hurt Locker was so bad.
Really?
Richard says, Key, you know my backstory. Band of Brothers is great. Yeah, I know. I know. Mero is our 2-time Purple Heart recipient that fought for us to live here and have this show. So make sure you guys thank Mero for his amazing accomplishments in saving lives. So now we understand why he hates the Hurt Locker.
Is it because is it because they do a bad job of showing it? Like, is it not accurate, Hurt Locker? Or why?
I think for me, what was great about the Hurt Locker was the suspense. Shane, while I have you here, man, finally watched Scream 6, what I'm going to call Scream 2, because there's this new trilogy that's happening, and so I'm going to call it Scream 2, but it's actually Scream 6, and I just told you we watched the newest one, and I told you you're going to love it, and you got to watch it. This one was better! It was even better, man.
Really?
Like, it's so, these movies are killing it, Shane.
Dude, I
You
love
have got
Scream.
to check these things out. They are literally, like, Wes Craven is somewhere smiling so big that his face is falling apart. Because these movies are so good, dude. Like, I've been going back and watching, like, just by accident, I watched the newest one, right? Like, of the newest trilogy. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, Alicia, my wife, went to work, and Azazel wanted to watch Ghostface. Daddy, I want to watch Ghostface. So I put on Scream 1. And it's so crazy because they, like, parallel each other, like, exactly, dude. Like, it's almost, again, we were talking about what you would want out of a remake or whatever. It's exactly that. Like, it's exactly perfectly remade. And then, Alicia comes home. We finally get around to watching the second one in the trilogy of the newest Screams.
It's Scream,
which is 6.
Okay, so Scream 5 is the new one.
The first new one, 2022,
got it.
And the second one's 2023.
I haven't seen
which is 6.
either.
I know, me neither. We didn't either. So I watched Scream 6 finally with her. Then she goes to work the next day. Azazel, I want to watch Ghostface. So we watched Scream 2.
Okay, I love Scream 2.
Parallels, man. Like, they're fucking, dude, these movies are so, I got goosebumps. These movies are so great.
Oh my
Go
God.
watch these Scream movies if you guys haven't seen them. They're on Paramount Plus. Use my login. Just message me after the show.
Right.
But get in there and watch these movies, man. I'm telling you, these movies are great. Like, I'm so impressed with these movies. As you guys know, I'm such a big horror. October is my favorite month. I'm a big Halloween guy. I love orange. I love fall. I love all of these things. I've been making my wife decorate the house with fall and get pumpkin candles. I am just obsessed with it. And this has been a great little lead into October, watching these, catching up, because I haven't seen Scream 1, 2, or 3.
Man, I'm about to go watch all
like
of them.
in so long, dude. And they're all so good because
they are,
Craven
bro.
directs them all, bro.
Does he
He
really?
directs all 3 and the 2011 one. He
The
saw all
2004?
4 Screams that were ever made besides these two
Scream
new ones.
4 is so good too, bro.
Right. And 5 is like, dude, I'm telling you, both of these newest ones are like love letters to Wes Craven. Like I said, he's somewhere looking down,
Wes Craven,
smiling
that's
ear to
awesome.
ear, going, God, that's how it's done, man. Like,
Good job,
these movies
guys.
are so good. Go check them out if you haven't
yeah.
seen them. Like, I can't talk high enough about those movies. Let's see. Mero says not realistic. Shane says, damn, can't wait. Entertaining, yes, but not realistic from a military standpoint. He's talking about the Hurt Locker. Shannon says, Ghostface, so cute, right? Yeah, she'll literally fucking, like, scream and cry at me. Oh, I Ghostface. Last night, man, I'm telling you, it was like 1:30 in the morning. She's sitting on the couch, and she's, like, crying to watch Ghostface. And I'm like, dude, we're about to go to bed. Alicia's already asleep and stuff. I'm like, we're about to go to bed. We're not. And she's like, no, we're there. I'm like, fine. I put on Ghostface, like, and just the intro of the third one started, and I look over, and she's like, and I wake her up, and I'm like, dude, you're falling asleep. Just go lay down in the bed with mom. You clearly, and she's like, no, I gotta watch Ghostface. And it's like, what the fuck is, and so I press play again, and she's out, and I just moved on. Like, that's my daughter, man. She loves scary movies that much, but But yeah, guys, definitely check out those Scream movies, man. I can't, especially like I said, I feel like Scream kind of gets lost in that pantheon of slasher stuff. You know,
does, but it's so good.
But really, it might be the best. The best.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, there's all together. Like every one of those movies,
if we're counting
is
them
like
all,
really good.
Like it might be the best collective group, man. It really is.
There's not a cheap.
I think a big part of that comes from the fact that Craven has made them all. You know, he
clearly learned from his Nightmare
on Elm Street, and he was like, "This is mine. I'm not gonna let that happen to me again." And
you're not ripping this thing away from me, you goddamn ticks.
Mero says she's perfect. Be nice to my little homie. She is perfect, but I don't want to be up until 2 a.m. watching Ghostface every night. So
I'm trying to sleep.
Not to mention that like she fell asleep at 2 and then woke right up at like 7, ready to watch more Ghostface. So
there's only so much Ghostface one can take.
It's cool. I mean, last year it was Jason. I mean, for a whole basically like 7 months of her existence, we watched every Jason movie every day.
Wow.
And, like, that's what she wanted, man. So, it is what it is. This is the beauty of having children sometimes.
At least it's not, like, unicorn shit.
Oh, Mero brings up a good one. He says, you know what movie I want to watch again? Tremors, ... any of them. Okay, I don't know if it's still on there, and I'm sure you haven't seen it, Mero, but there's a new one with John Heater.
John Heater.
Yeah, remember Napoleon Dynamite? Yeah. There's a new one with John Heater and some of the original cast from Tremors. It's called Tremors Shrieker Island. It was on Netflix. Go watch that shit. Great. I mean, when I say great, not like Scream, but like great, like if you were just flipping around on TV and found it. What? And it was like October and you was trying to feel some Tremors vibes. Then it's pretty good, man. But though you're right, those original Tremors movies, Trevor, you ever seen those? Man, I'm telling you, dude, when I was a kid, bro, like Tremors was a thing, man. Like it was a thing, like almost, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but it was almost equally counterpart to like Jurassic Park. Like it was that big, man. Like really? People I knew loved Tremors, bro. Like were huge fans. Like I know it was one of the biggest, VOD, like because a lot of them didn't go to theaters. They just went straight to VHS and stuff. And I know it was one of the biggest, franchises for that kind of thing. So I know it's a very loved franchise, but it turned into one of those ones that is like very slapstick, cheesy, stupid.
Okay.
And once it did that, but if you go back and watch the original one, maybe even 2 or 3, they're like really legit, good, scary movie. Different, very, there's big worms in the ground, almost like Dune worm things that are like just eating people out in the desert. They're good movies. They really are. And I haven't seen the original few in a while. So you know what? I'm going to add that to the list. This October, I'm going to do I want to do that. Try to get all the Screams, all the Tremors, all the things that I haven't seen in a while. That's like what I try to do every October. So I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. He also says it could be Dora, Count Your Blessings. I'm confused. And then he says,
oh yeah, instead of watching Scream, like you could be watching Dora over and over again.
What is Dora?
Like the Explorer?
Oh my God! I see what you mean with Azazel.
Dora and Boots.
I didn't even think that shit's so far out of my mind. I didn't even know what Dora was.
Right.
I'm like, Dora, what the fuck? Yeah, she does this like baby shark show thing that gets old after a while, but it's not that bad. And then Mero says, ass blasters! I don't know if you just wanted me to yell that out or what, but...
I yelled it as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ass blasters!
Yeah, so there we are.
That felt really good.
But yeah, guys, that'll probably wrap it up. What is Dora? Yeah, right. That'll probably wrap it up for today. I appreciate you guys being here, hanging out. We'll do a show next week. We're going to get Trevor caught up on Gen V. We're going to start doing some sort of show weekly about that. Some sort of pregame, postgame, something like watch party. That show is just so good. We got to, and then And then we'll do something for the season finale of Ahsoka next week, where I think our buddy Mr. P may co-stream with us and talk about it as well. So,
where's when is that? Or
that'll be Tuesday night is when it comes out.
Right. Would we want to like?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I also got.
But I'm gonna figure it out.
Cool.
You don't remember the ass blasters?
In Tremors?
Oh my God! Yes, I see what he means now. Ass blasters, Jesus Christ! Yeah, it's been that long, man. It's been that freaking long. But God, man, those movies are so good. Definitely go watch them. Definitely go check out them Scream movies. I'm obsessed with them Scream movies right now. Like,
I'm gonna go back and watch. I'm watching Supernatural right now for the first time. I'd never. Yeah, I'm loving it.
I'm so proud of you right now.
I absolutely love it, bro. Like Joe was like,
wait, can we just have like a moment of silence?
Watch Supernatural. I'll be back in a couple of years.
Yeah! Let's go, man. That's exciting. So where are you at?
I'm almost to the end of the first season. I just watched the Benders episode.
So you're still in we didn't have a lot of money and we're hoping we get another season.
Yes.
So here in about 2-3 seasons, all the quality is gonna pick up. Your camera, your equipment, like everything quality-wise will pick up. Okay. But your story and all that, like the characters, you're still gonna keep getting that equally as good. But you'll get better improvement overall. And then right around, I think because it really was planned to be like a 5 or 6 series arc thing, and they complete that arc, and then from that point on, it just ends up like Dragon Ball Z. Where
let's find some other shit.
There's always something new that gets bigger and stronger until literally the series finale is they fight God himself. So like that is like it gets a little repetitive in that way. But man, for me, what it was, Trevor, is, and you come from a family with lots of brothers. I had one brother that we were kind of far apart in age, and we just never really connected in that way. But it's just so cool for me to see 2 brothers out on the road, doing their thing, and like it's Sam and Dean are like the epitome of the relationship you want with your brother. You know what I mean? Like it's so good, and that for me, that's what always brought me back to it was those, especially Dean. Like I always
Dean is
really
else,
yeah.
Bro. That Jensen Ackles is
just last night. I was looking at getting me their license plate, Kaz. Like the Kansas license plate for my motorcycle.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's how much I love it. Yeah, it's such great.
Good show. I mean,
good shit. Later, dudes. Yeah, later, Shannon. We'll see you. The series, love Supernatural. Yes, the series. You love Supernatural too? That's fucking awesome, bro. I took so much shit for so long for loving that show.
Man,
like
for real?
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I mean I get it though,
especially early on. Like you were gay if you liked that show early on.
I mean. It's I compared it to that One Piece show where it's like from the outside looking in, it looks like one of those stupid ass CW shows. Like everyone told me it was so good, but like I think in my head I was still holding on. It's like, how could this possibly be as good as anyone is saying when it looks so much like any other CW trash show that exists? And then I started the first episode because Joe was like, dude, just watch the first episode, just try it. And I was like, okay. And immediately I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like the storytelling levels on this thing are
the world
so
building,
crazy.
Like later on, like seasons and seasons later, and you'll forget this, so don't worry about it. But at some point they talk and meet with Death numerous times. But like early on when they first meet him, they don't really know much about him. They haven't really met him yet. And he's very, a quiet, very different kind of guy Death is. And there's these few lines that he has where he's like, because they bring up like God or whatever, and Death's like, I was here before him, and I'll be here after him. In fact, I'll be the one that takes him where he goes. And just that, it makes you like think a lot too. You're like, wait, that's got to be true,
right?
Like if death was a thing, like an entity, And it would have existed before God and after him.
Right.
And not only that, he's the one that's going to walk God to whatever death is.
To himself.
It's just like that is crazy because like in that moment, you're knowing that Sam and Demon's going to like try to kill Death.
Right.
And then that line's like, well, that means
That's impossible.
Right? This ain't happening, right?
Sorry, fellas.
But yeah, there's just so much world building in that. Like, just that as an example just goes to show you. And what I really love about it is how every religion is real. Like, it's all true.
Yeah.
Paganism is true. Catholicism is true. Yeah. Where, you know, Zeus is real. Greek, like, every single thing is real. Like, that's kind of how I view that could really be.
Reality. Yeah,
like,
I really think it is.
A lot of them,
I've
like, they have the things called lichens or whatever, which are created by us. Like it's kind of like, you ever seen one of them scary movies where there's like a story about, oh yeah, and if you don't set 2 pieces of candy aside for old Sweet Tooth, he'll come at night and he'll kill you. You know, like there's like urban legend stories, like in Supernatural, like those become real because we make them real by doing that, by manifesting them. Yeah,
like it's a spirit.
Yes, and like, and so much of that shit makes sense, right?
Yeah, right.
And it just,
the way they react with it and everything,
it just all works.
I'm like, oh my god, like it's like I've had all these assumptions on how all these things would theoretically work,
but somehow they nailed it.
Right, every single one, and I'm like,
bro, I'm glad you see it that way because I've always felt that way. Like, if any world of that kind of stuff was real, that would be it to me. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's kind of the world we live in. You know,
it's well, and I mean, it is clearly because they're living in our world, and it's like they can't. I 100% think there are people like them out there that are wandering around that just live amongst us that we don't ever meet because the unfortunate thing has never happened to us. And the reason that we don't hear about it ever is because of it's the exact same reasons that nobody heard about it in the show, because everyone's like, dude, you're going to think I'm fucking crazy.
Right.
Like, there's no way. And then it's like, look, everyone else is going to think that. We don't, because we know the truth. Like, and I'm like, I
just love how nothing's off the table, man.
Yeah,
like, it's all real. It's all there, and we got to fucking stop it.
Right.
Like, that. I love that. Let's see. Mero says, Dean is so hot.
Dude, you ain't wrong.
Dean is the man we're all striving to be.
That's true. That is 100%
there was, just so you know, too, by the way, during the whole Batman recasting, Jensen Ackles was in that. He was in the running, man.
I honestly wish they would.
He was in the running. He'd be great. You know, he plays under the Red Hood. He plays Red Hood.
Yep.
He's a great Red Hood. Yep. Like he's great. He plays fucking Captain America in The Boys, man.
Yes, he
does.
And
he kills that role, man.
Yeah.
He's in fact, he's so good that you hope that he's not dead.
Right.
Like, man, I hope he comes around, man. Right?
I just want to see more of that dude. Like, Jensen Ackles, like, he's been like hiding in Supernatural all these years, but like, dude might be one of the best actors.
So they both in like 2010 had this like thing where they kind of. So Jensen went and did My Bloody Valentine.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
And Jared went and did Friday the 13th, the remake in 2010. Yeah. And they both bombed hard, and they both were like, yeah, let's just keep doing this,
right?
Which made sense. And you know, it's sad that show ended because I really believe that the CW was held up upon that show. Like, I believe it was core. Like, I have never seen a CW show since.
Nope.
You know, and the only other time I ever watched any of them was because of the legitimacy of Supernatural. Right. Like, I trusted that it could maybe be at least that good.
Right.
But the truth is, it was the premier show.
Right.
Like, especially as you'll see later on when you'll see, like I said, they got money and their CG and their shit looks the way you're going to be like, damn, bro, this makes The Flash and those other movies look like CW shows.
All of that money.
Yes, they were, because they were getting 4 or 5 million viewers all the way up till 15 seasons, man. Like, even when they ended it, like, they could have kept going. Like, they were still getting audience, but those dudes are just like, dude, what are we gonna do here?
Right. Like, we gotta go do something else now,
and then real quick, last thing, Shane says, the guy who plays Loki in Supernatural is a big part in Band of Brothers. Okay, I know you haven't gotten to this yet, but the guy who plays Loki is actually a different character, and I'm not gonna spoil that for Trevor, but that character that he is, which, you know, he's playing the god of mischief, which is perfect because that's not who he really is, which is so mischievous itself, right? But that character is one of my favorite fucking characters on Supernatural. I love that character, man. Not Loki, but the actual, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but the actual character that pretends to be Loki, that character is great. And in fact, like I spent a lot of my years continuing to watch it, waiting for him to come back, like waiting for his return, because he just really was so good. The guy that plays Lucifer too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's in there.
Like.
Oh, the guy that plays.
Like, have you?
Like,
yeah, the actor. Not the guy. Have you not met Lucifer yet? Oh man, so. I don't think so. Yeah, huh? Oh yeah. When you meet the guy who plays Lucifer, you're gonna like. I can't wait to debate with you. Who's better at being Lucifer?
Ah, yes, I'm excited.
Because
I'm excited.
There's no debate on power level. Like the Lucifer from Supernatural would kill Lucifer in like a blink of an eye.
Right.
Like you'll see. Like the Lucifer from Supernatural is literally like the closest thing to God.
Right. I mean,
it's
like
first,
the only thing.
It's God's first creation.
Right. Right.
So
and
he put it all into that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's right. God's favorite. Right. And so yeah, he's that. But man, there's so I'm so glad you got into this series, man, because I'm telling you, dude, it's good. It's good head to toe.
Yeah, I mean, I've went through like 15 episodes in the last.
My
like,
favorite episodes are when it's not related to the whole story, because like there'll be like an overarching story, right? And every season, like let's say the overarching story this season is we got to kill the devil,
right?
And so like every few episodes that's something is happening that's leading towards that. But then every once in a while, there's just an episode where like they would have been leading towards that, but they were in a hotel and like they read the newspaper and seen that someone's heart got cut out, and they're like, that's a werewolf, we got to go take care of it. And so it's unrelated to the whole story overall. Mm-hmm. It's just two brothers going out killing a werewolf, bro. Right. And like just that to me are my favorite episodes, because you really get to learn more. It builds the world too. You know, you get to learn about vampire hives or whatever it is that are out there, you know, like I really love that stuff. And it's too bad too. They try to do a bunch of spinoffs like the Wayward Sisters, and which was like a girl basically version, which I watched and it was okay. But the truth is that those movies that show really can't exist without Sam and Dean. One of the greatest things I ever heard was somebody was talking about the ending to like the newest Halloween trilogy, or something like that. It's some new horror franchise. I can't remember which one it was exactly. And I see somebody comment, they're like, best way the movie ends. At the very end, when we think nobody can kill him, the Impala pulls up. And Sam and Dean come out in a movie completely unrelated to Supernatural in any way, and they're still there. Like there's an episode, bro, where they have to like there's like people coming up missing, so they go and try to figure out and it's just a dude that kills people. That's it. It's just a fucking serial killer, bro. Like,
the one I just watched it's called The Benders. It was just like four people that would like trap people and then like put them on their property and hunt them. Right, there you go. Right. Exactly. Like it's not even always supernatural. Right. It's just sometimes it's just some crazy motherfucking shit, you know, like and yet the boys are there to stop the shit from being the way that it is, you know. And that's why I always thought that would be cool to like just randomly see them at the end of a Jason movie somehow just come in and be like, boom, boom, we got it. Like what? What are you guys doing here? But there was always and there still is like a chance that they may do a Supernatural like movie thing. They always wanted to try that. You know, a lot of series do that towards the end. They want, like Stranger Things has mentioned that, like that it will end it with a theatrical release, which would make sense. I mean, it'd be that big explanation point on a long series. But Stranger Things is definitely more in the zeitgeist than than something like Supernatural. But let's see. Do we got anything else? Hey, now that you guys are ending, I'm heading over to your place. Oh, yeah, cool, man. I'll be here. Head over. The guy who plays. Okay, that's it. All right, Mero, Shane, Shanna, everybody, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of another fun time talking about movies, movie news, and other screen-related junk. Oh, thanks for the hearts. You guys are so sweet to me. Now, somebody tip me $1,000. That'd be the best. But anyways,
we'll be back here, like I said, next week. We're going to try to plan something out kind of big. I want to see if we can get, because I don't know if you know this or not, Trevor, but YouTube is changing a lot of things right now, and they have this ability to do what's just called a co-stream, where I can, like, I can basically click on, you know, one of these person's name, like let's say you were in the chat, I could click on you and then invite you to a co-stream. Okay. And then it pops you up in a corner, so you could, I mean, theoretically, if we could get Lucas and Noah and Ethan, and we could have a whole group of people in here, which would be so really cool to do for like Gen V or a finale of something. That'd be
great. That'd be great.
So we might try to play around with something like that next week with Mr. P and see if we can't get like me and you here and get him in, kind of see how it works and stuff and get our feet wet. But yeah, I love the idea of them doing these things and adding these features too.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love.
You know how they have the giveaways on Whatnot.
Yeah,
like they're talking about adding things like that, so that way we could like
put Whatnot out of business.
We could like sign a Funko Pop and give it away to chat, or something like that will help. Also, I think bring in viewers and make people more connected to what we're doing and stuff. But all right, guys, we're gonna head out of here. I appreciate you guys all being here. Real quick, let me run this ad from VFly, who has actually recently hit me up again. So let me run the ad. VFly, thanks VFly. We want to take a second to thank one of the sponsors of the show, VFly. VFly is a company backed by Google and Google Ads. They use a trusted system to put your YouTube content in front of the right eyes, gaining your videos more views, likes, comments, and subscribers. And this is no BS bot stuff or fake views like all those other sites are going to give you. This company is backed by Google and has delivered on billions of views to date. I've been using VFly now for a while, and I have just been stunned by the great results. Go visit VFly now with the link in the description, and thank you to VFly for being a sponsor of the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel. All right, guys, we're out of here. We will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend, and we will see you guys later.